Hello, everybody. It's your good buddy Spider with another video for the Uncanny Spirits Club, and I'm a little kind of out of sorts today. I haven't been feeling too good. I've got a little bit of a summer cold, and so I've got some medicine for that. And then also, today was a very difficult day. No specific event, just so much all day, too much going on. Um, so I had a little bit of bourbon already before I started this. So I'm already kind of like, by the end of this, I'm probably going to be like, oh my goodness, wow. Drink responsibly. Always remember, I don't have any place to go, don't need to do anything. So hopefully we'll get through here with some coherent thoughts. Okay. So what do we have? Today is the big day. I wanted to do this outside in the bright sunshine, in the open air, and circumstances did not work out very well for that. So here it is. I have the full lineup of Horse Soldier Bourbon whiskey. I have the straight bourbon whiskey, which is at 87 proof. I have the barrel strength bourbon, which is at 123 proof in the silver. So you got bronze, silver, and you guys know what's coming up next. It must be the gold. And it is the small batch, and it's 95 proof. So 3 different proofs, 3 different expressions. I've had 2 of these before. I've had the first 2. I've had the introductory one, which is the premium bourbon whiskey, and I've had the barrel strength, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I thought for sure I had done a review on it, for sure, that I'd done a review on it, and apparently I didn't, because I didn't find it anywhere through the videos I've uploaded here to YouTube. So now, since I have all 3 of them, I'm going to do all 3 for you. And price-wise, they are not cheap. The bronze, which is the premium, is $49.99. The barrel strength is $74.99, and the small batch is $89.99. Okay, so you're looking at some top tier prices for these. And I remember when I first tasted them, I was kind of iffy. I wasn't sure I liked them, but it's been a long time, and I'm interested to see how my tastes have changed since then. So I've got 3 of these Glencairns. There's 2, and there's a third one here. And I've got a little measuring cup to make sure I do a proper comparison between all 3 and get the exact same ounce dosage among all 3. So here is, first up, cat's going wild. This is the premium straight bourbon whiskey. Just trying to go there, pour that in there. Good deal. Then I'm going to swish that out a little bit. A bit of water in there, to kind of get out any lingering tastes to make sure that it's a fair comparison. And since it's just the last dregs, then the water will kill off any actual taste, so I won't really know what I'm in for. There's the barrel strength, which is the strongest of the 3. And now, do another refresh of the shot cup here. And it looks like I'm doing shots for all 3, doesn't it? I am not. It'd be kind of crazy if I was. Have a little bit more of a reaction than just. And now we have the small batch. From left, my left, which is your right, So I guess it's from right to left if you guys are watching this. But it's from my left to my right. Semantics, details, got the details, yeah. Okay. So that's done. Move that back there. They all look pretty close as far as color. See that? Very close as far as color. I think it's probably almost identical. I don't think, like, I know it looked a little bit darker on the middle one just due to where I had these held, but I think they're about the same. The introductory smells interesting. Kind of bright fruit. The barrel strength. Ooh, very fumey. You can tell there's some power in there. It's 123 proof, remember. And then the small batch, which is closer to the barrel strength than it is to the other one, because it's closer in proof anyway. It's 95 proof. And this is the only one that I haven't tried yet. So, again, from my left to my right, which is your right to my left. Your right to your left. Whatever. Let's do this. So we're going to try Horse Soldier Bourbon. Straight bourbon whiskey. Again, this is 87 proof, the weakest of the three. And it is $49.99. So the most affordable of the bunch. Interesting. Not as strong as the other bourbons that I've been having recently. Very smooth. Very heavy on the fruit taste. Very, very sweet apple. Super sweet. Yeah. Very sweet apple. Almost as if you started cooking the apples for apple pie, but you didn't caramelize them yet. So not quite caramel apple, but like pie apples. Apples you'd find in a good apple pie. Good old American apple pie. Now these all have a story behind them. And it says on the back, it's carefully crafted by Green Berets who answered America's call just days after 9/11 with a daring insertion into northern Afghanistan on horseback. This brave and unconventional act earned them the moniker the Horse Soldier. This one says it's aged a minimum of 2 years, and it's handmade and bottled by American Freedom Distillery in Columbus, Ohio. So it's a local brand too. I thought this wasn't from here, but it is. Very surprised. The first bottles of this that I ever got, I got when they were brand new. They had just come out. I was in the ground floor, kind of like Seven Churches, the Irish whiskey. I got in like one of the first shipments, one of the first batches. This cat is in the way, but you can't turn no bourbon. So it's a pretty memorable experience for me. I went through those. It took me a long time to go through those bottles. First, because I didn't really care for the taste as much, and also because I just, they were new, they were different. I couldn't find them on the shelves. I wanted to stress them out. And now these are available on my local store shelves in the local grocery store. Mm-hmm. Very bright, very sweet. That second one had a little bit of bitterness and a little bit of sourness, but it's like apple pie apples. Not like apple pie moonshine or something like that. Not that level of sweet. It's still a bourbon, and it's not a flavored bourbon. So don't get the wrong impression. But very much apple pie. Not so much on like the spices you get in an apple pie. Like not so much the cinnamon and nutmeg and stuff that you sometimes get, depending on who makes the pie. More just straight up sugary apple, but not caramelized. I'm going to take a sip of water, cleanse the palate. to get a fair comparison. So the second one is going to be the barrel strength, which is the highest proof of the three. It is 123 proof. Now, when I first got these, they had names. Like one was the commander and one was the captain or something like that, or the infantry or something. I don't remember what that was, but I don't see any indication of that on any of the bottles. I do notice that the first one says non-chill filtered, of course, which is how they probably all are. The second one says uncut, since it's barrel strength. So very interesting. So all right, let's try that. This is the barrel strength. This is the strongest one, 123 proof. Lots of fumes, some creaminess going on in there. Some creaminess, a little bit of cream, kind of. Let's see if that translates in the taste. Deep breath. It is very creamy, much creamier. It does taste stronger, but it doesn't hit you real hard. It's not like the Willets that I've been having recently in the last few videos. That's a pretty nice feeling. A little bit of bitterness and sour on the end. This is more along the lines of like the caramel apple, kind of creamy caramel kind of taste. But the apple is real soft. It's not a very crisp apple. So it's not like a caramel dipped apple where the apple itself is still pretty crisp and still, you know, this is more, it's been baked for a while. Maybe a caramel apple pie. So apple pie is going to be kind of the theme, which makes sense because it's the United States, it's the land of apple pie. American is apple pie, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know, that's something that they say. But yeah, has a nice lingering bit too that I like. I like this better than the first time I tried it, I think. I remember this being wildly weird with the flavor compared to other whiskeys I had had at the time. But to be fair, I was just getting into high-end whiskeys, and I had been trying things all over the place, and my taste buds were just like, oh, no, there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this. And so I was still developing all that stuff. So that was all kind of new, whereas now I like to think I'm a little more refined, and I have had a lot more tasting experience than I did before. And so I enjoy this one. I do. Show you the bottle again. This is the silver, whereas the first one was the bronze. So let me finish this off and see if the taste is any different. No, I haven't eaten yet today, so hopefully this isn't going to mess with me too much. That's part of the rottenness of the day. I was trying to eat today, and I failed through no fault of my own, but the circumstances were just not very good for me today. So, this is empty stomach, basically. On the second one, now that your taste buds are kind of acclimated to it, the bitterness and the sour kind of gets to them, but it still has that little creamy kind of caramel taste to it, but it's not as sweet the second time is around. The second time is a little bit less on the sweetness and more on the bourbony feel of it, but it's decent. I appreciate it more than I think I did the first time. And I think that's important. I think it's good to revisit things. Like I've revisited some things in the past. The one thing that I haven't, because I don't know how many bottles are still out there, I don't know how limited of a run it was. I have not revisited the War Master, which was pretty rough. Ooh, you guys have my initial review early on in the formerly Patreon exclusive videos that I uploaded here after we shut down that part of the Patreon. And it was like drinking it was the same effect as chewing on a brand new leather belt. It had that taste to it. It took me months to finish that bottle just because I finally got to the point where it was just sitting there. I was like, I gotta do something with it. I can't just let it sit there. And it was too expensive for me to just, it was $70, and that's kind of the price point where I don't want to just pour it down the sink. I don't want to just give it away. I spent that money. I did different things with it. I tried to cook meals with it to give some barbecue mesquite taste. Mesquite. You can tell I'm not a person from Texas. Mesquite. Embarrassing myself. Anyway, but I eventually just drank it down a bit at a time. And maybe now that I've had so much more experience with this is episode 85 after all, I may go back and try it again. If I can find a bottle and it's not, $70 is a bit to spend on something I didn't like and to try it again. I don't know. It's up in the air. It's an idea though. Let me cleanse the palate. I'm starting to feel the effects of the first two though. And I've already had a drink tonight, so I'm kind of let's see if I can finish the last one without going completely that's a good bourbon. Not professional, probably, right? Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Name the song. So, check the messages on my phone real quick. Oh my goodness. That's exactly what I said. Pardon me. There was big news about something that's really inconsequential, but kind of important to my family, but not it's not gonna, it's really minor. It's not like a big family change or anything. It's just about something that's happening that we're all excited about. So we're all oh my goodness. Maybe I'll tell you about it later. It's not, no, nobody's having another kid or anything like that. So don't go there. No, one and done. I've got the one upstairs. She's fine. Gonna be 9 in October. 9 years. My goodness, time just. Anyway. Let's do the last one. The last one is the Horse Soldier, of course. And it is the small batch, and it says hand selected down at the bottom. And it is the middle proof. It is 95 proof. So the first one is 87 proof. The second one was 123 proof. Big jump. And the third one is settling back down into 95 proof, which is still kind of high. But here's what we've got. This is the one I think I haven't tried yet. I'm pretty sure when I ordered the first 2 bottles, I had the money at the time for I didn't have money for all 3, but I had money for the first 2. And I was like, so I got 2 rather than all 3 because the shipping on this kind of stuff is ridiculous. And I don't remember where I ordered them from. I might have ordered them from Craft Shack or Blackwell's or Sip Whiskey. All good, reputable places if you're interested. Cask Cartel, maybe, but they are a little more expensive. They charge a lot of overhead. They have a lot of very rare things. I will give them their props. They find some things that nobody else will have in a million years, but you will be paying for it. Cask Cartel. I will give them their props, but I will also say that their overhead that they charge, man. Okay. So let's see what we have. I don't know. It's kind of creamy, a little bit. Not super sweet, but not the heat doesn't really get you too much. It's really smooth, but it doesn't have a lot to stand out either. Like after the first two, it doesn't have anything that really sets it apart, which I guess makes sense because it's kind of in between as far as the proof and things. But it's an easy drinker. So maybe that's the point. Maybe it's a slightly higher proof, but still an easy drinker. Maybe. Or maybe I've just had too much to drink and I can't really accurately tell the difference. But we're going to hope for the best, right? We're going to hope for the best. It's not bad, though. It tastes a little bit like the first one. Not so much like the second one. It doesn't have the depth of flavor that the second one had. It tastes more like a standard bourbon, to be honest, which the first one you would think would be the standard bourbon type, but it had that different flavor to it. It was very bright, very appley, very chipper. And this just tastes more like, it's a good, comfortable bourbon. And I kind of wish now that maybe I had started with this one before. But then this one, let's look at the price sheet. I've got the receipt here. This one, this one might be the one that's $74.99, even though it's got the gold label. It's hard to tell from the receipt here. I'm going to see if I can look them up. I'm going to look them up on the good old intranet. Internet rather than intranet. Important difference. Horse Soldier Bourbon. Okay. No, this is the more expensive one, judging by the secondary market here. Which is weird. It's so weird. But to be honest, the secondary market is charging some ridiculous prices for some of these. Like they charge $170 on Cask Cartel for the silver one. $170, which is $100 more than I spent on any of these bottles. That's ridiculous. My goodness. And the silver one, 110. Like how many different kinds of the silver for 110 and 170? I mean, they must have different. I don't know. I'm going to look at the Horse Soldier Bourbon online store and see what they charge. They charge $89.99 for the barrel strength. What did I spend for it? Same price. Okay. It says BRL, so barrel strength. All right, so this one that I'm just having now is the $74.99. The barrel strength is the most expensive, which is weird because it's the silver label rather than the gold label. I don't know if these people know how the Olympics medals work. I don't know. But this is probably the best of the three, the gold label. It's I would say this is the $74.99. and it's smooth. It has a little bit of taste to it, and just tastes like a standard bourbon. And the other two are trying to do things with the taste, and I'm not 100% sold on. I don't know. This has been a long video because I've had all three, and I'm feeling it. It does hit you after you've had all three. Like, it's all up here. So, I'm going to finish it because I have a little bit left. Pardon me. My goodness. Empty stomach. Missed some. Made a mess. With the second sip, you get a little bit of sourness, just like the first two, but it's very mild. Nice and mild. So, what is the verdict? If it was a competition, I think I would choose the gold label, which is the small batch, and it is $74.99 at my local grocery store here in Ohio. Okay, your prices may vary depending on if you have to order it or where you have to go and get it, because different places, But that would be my choice. It has the heft at 95. Oh my gosh, 95. 95 proof. It has the taste. It doesn't overwhelm you with a lot of heat. And I think it has a decent balance. It's balanced, which is really what I'm after. I like a good balance. I do like an exceptional flavor, which is rare, but this has a good balance. It balances everything else better than the introductory one, which is the straight bourbon whiskey. And it has more taste to it, I think, than the silver, which is the barrel strength. All three are decent, though. I'm glad I retried these because I wasn't going to. I was waiting. Like, I was just like, ah. And they only had two at a time. Usually, most days I went, I didn't want to spend that much. And this time was kind of like, you know what? I'm going to bite that bullet. I'm going to go ahead and get all three and just call it a day. And here we go. So that's what I think. And that's all I have for you because that's a lot of alcohol to drink all at once. And it's really hitting me hard. And I have not eaten yet today because that's the day I've had. And I don't want this to become a therapy video like self-care and stuff because who wants to listen to that? This is about drinking alcohol and going crazy and, that kind of stuff. Clearly, I've gone completely crazy. Whatever. That's all. My recommendation, once again, is the gold label for $74.99. The Horse Soldier small batch. This one. Right here. Gold label. I'm going to see if I can get them all in for the picture. Oh, can I? This is dumb. This is a stupid idea. Oh my gosh. That's what you're looking at. Okay. This is the winner. It's the mid price. The other two are $49.99 for the bronze and $89.99 for the silver, which is the barrel strength. And that's why it's more expensive. 123 proof. This one is 95 proof. And the introductory is 87 proof. Full range, full set of prices. Decent. Recommend all three, but the gold label I recommend the most. And until next time, on that note, of course, and I say of course, I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times I've said it so far this episode. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. Stop it. Until next time. Cheers.